Don't stop. 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 Don't. Don't stop.
Morning all. Morning. So, excuse my croaky voice. Didn't get much sleep last night. A stupid cough and not enough kebab, obviously. So, excuse me. We're still in this natural gas trade. It's not really done much overnight, as it wouldn't. So come 8:30, we'll see what the candles bring, and the Brent crude hasn't done anything overnight. I think we left it here-ish. There was this gap is because the market closes for well, the market doesn't close. My broker closes for an hour or so. Well, it's actually 11 o'clock that it will close. And there's been nothing overnight happening really. There's a little bit of a slow incline up. No signal for me as yet to get into the market. If we pop down to the 5 minute, we can see that whilst these little lines that we put on have been breached, doesn't really mean a huge amount to me. It doesn't mean much to me. This low at 8,550 hasn't been touched. It's not even looked at it overnight. And this triangle, which some could call a falling wedge, as it's more sloped downwards than it is upwards. Excuse me. That's been breached, but sideways. I like that word, sideways. So there's not a great deal gone on. This 1 hourly resistance has held fast, and we've still got the other hourly resistance down here at 5850.1. So nothing happening on the DAX. On the Brent crude oilage on the 5 minute or 15 minute. Still, from yesterday, the daily perspective is, for me, mixed. This could fall over and the backside fall right out of it, stochastic wise, and breach this lower low of the wick from yesterday. It's slightly green only because it's moved up overnight from the price it took at 11 o'clock. And equally, it could just monster rally all the way up and even go past the 7,000 mark. But you never know. You never know. You just got to do whatever your trading plan and your strategy tells you to do. One thing we will be looking at today for possibles is the DAX. I do like the DAX. I love it, in fact. It breached and broke through here. I don't know why I wasn't here. What time was that? 3:15. When was that? That was Tuesday, yesterday. What was it? Oh yes, I know why. I won't whinge on about it, but I had to leave at 2:30 to go and do some things. Yeah, but that was a definite breach of a breakout of this candle high, and that would have been a very good 1-to-1. I think. Let me just see if there was a breach of that. If I'd have put I don't know, a couple of points above that. What was that? That was 592. So let's go for 97. Low of 74. Would it have made 74? Yes, it would have made 74 on the second candle easily. And I believe it will still continue to go higher. It's just got to break through this daily resistance that's up here. And if it does on the DAX, then we're looking at nothing for a long time. before it has to hit this resistance up here at 12,872. So that's a good couple of 100 points. But you know, I'm going to follow my strategy for building a small account. I have over on this screen I've got the main account, and on this other screen up here I've got some emails, the other platform, and the streaming software. So I've got my other account open so I can move and change and add to my longer term positions. So we'll keep an eye on this DAX trade. I would have imagined, looking at the daily, that it looks overbought. If novices or new people that are looking at the stochastic and the RSI stuff, and you're told, oh yeah, when it gets overbought you've got to look for shorts. Yes, that's a good point, look for shorts. However, it was overbought here at exactly the same height, and what happened? There was a small red day and then a massive burst up to 12,496. So don't think that just because it's overbought it's got to come down. It hasn't. You'll probably hear from me many times, and you already have heard from me many times, because I do like to waffle on. But the stochastic is not to be traded by, from me, from my perspective, from my trading side of life. I don't trade from the stochastic. I use the stochastic as a indication as to where the market might be going. So we could have a small down day and then a burst up to 12,872. We could do. Or we could just see a massive sell-off back into 12,524 area. No idea. Hourly, it's still above this pivot and between the daily resistance. It's faffing about. I would have said, looking at the 15 minute, if it doesn't breach this high, let me go for 11 o'clock. Yeah, if it doesn't breach this high by 11, so before 12, obviously, lunatics, that it may well touch it, bounce off it and come back down again. So we could use that as a double top if it were to breach through and hold above this resistance / support, and if it breaches this and makes a new high, that'll be a breakout for me, and then the next stop is going to be the weeklies up at around 12,876. So we'll keep an eye on that today as well. Well, there's no signals for me to look at. There's no entry shown to me, so I'm just going to have to keep an eye on looking at it. I'll come back to it as and when. If there's anyone in the chat, pop any questions you've got in the chat, and I will get back to you. I'm going to go and feed my soul in a minute. A bit of not a rushed morning. That's the wrong way to say it, but a bit of a morning where everything had to be done quite quickly in the Mad Trading House. I've just set up a Facebook page as well, just in case anyone's watching or listening in the future. If you head over to Facebook and just type in, search for Mad Trading, you'll be able to find us. Let me see if I can bring that up. Can I get that? Can I get that? Let's try. Oh, what? Oh, excuse me. Very tired. Ooh, very tired. Can I? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Why can't I? Oh, I see. Yeah. So this is the. Oh no. Oh well. Yeah, there's a Facebook page. I can't drag it over. It's got lots of other people's names on it, and GDPR rules. You're not allowed to to knowingly or unknowingly pass on other people's names if they don't want their names to be shown or seen. So I can't actually show the page, but if you pop yourself over to Facebook, have a quick mooch, search for Mad Trading. You can't miss it. It's the same. It's the same icon for YouTube and for Twitch. So I'm going to just bung the music back on again, make it a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to go get myself some. In fact, I might have a high-level liquids and a high-level solids alarm to deal with. So I'm going to go deal with those. Feed my soul. Stick some decent tunes on, and get my fizzy nectarine ready to go. And I'll be back. I would say if there's nothing happened by 8:30, 9:15, if there's no signal generated for me, or if my strategy doesn't show me a signal, then I'll probably just leave the stream on for a little bit longer, and then just sit at home doing my own trading. Then I'll jump onto Twitch. It's pointless boring you to death. And yeah, so I'm going to turn the music up, leave you to it, have a watch for the charts. You better see if there's any movement on there, and hopefully your trading is going as swimmingly as mine is. If I don't speak to you, what's happened here? If I don't speak to you beforehand, have yourselves a great day, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Stay mad. I'm just listening back to the stream on the streaming software that I've got, and that is some freaky music that YouTube have said is copyright free. I'm not surprised, because my head can't cope with that, and I've had a massive coffee this morning, so I should be half awake, but that's doing my nutting. For the next stream, so maybe Friday, no streaming tomorrow. Can't stream tomorrow at all. So maybe Friday I'll have found some better music. I'll apologise now. That's freaky. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so 8 o'clock has brought us pretty much jizzle. We're not really moving anywhere. So no major moves as yet. Doesn't mean there won't be. Just means right this second there isn't. Oh dear me! Let me sleep. Still looking. I've definitely got high level solids and liquids alarm to go and sort out. Those tanks will need cleaning as well. So I may be gone. 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm going to go feed my soul as well. And because those tunes were doing my nutting, I'm going to go and listen to some Queen. I'm going to put some banging Queen on. Maybe even some Black Sabbath. Rock out for 15-20. And I shall be back. I'm guessing, I can't show you the Discord channel that I'm in. That would be rude. But the chaps that I'm in a Discord channel with, they're all gearing up for a major push forward long on natural gas. And they're also saying that DAX is going to go south. I like to chat with them and chat about it, but I pay it very little homage. I pretty much follow my own strategies. I don't really listen to anyone else. They have served me well over the past 6 and a bit years. Very well, in fact. And by listening to other people's assessment on where they think the market or instrument or the foreign exchange instrument, whatever it is that they're trading, if you listen to what they're saying, it will cloud your own judgment, and it sometimes has a negative impact or effect upon your own trading. So if your strategy, and I'm saying this, I'm guessing that people that are watching this have got a strategy. If you haven't got a strategy, there are gigabit guns. There are millions of them out there, and they all work. if the strategy works, grab it, back test it again, do it on lots of different instruments, do it at different amounts, do it at different times, back test it till your fingers bleed, and by that I mean electronically and on paper. Get it stuck in your head, know it off by heart, pick the one that works for you, that you're happy with and that you know is profitable, and stick to it. So if your strategy was to say, I don't know, a breakout of this natural gas long, you could only take it if the candle burst through and moved at least 15 points away from the resistance line, and then there's some other bits and bobs in with that. If that happened and you're just about to jump on that trade because your trading strategy tells you to do it, and someone on Twitter, whatever, Instagram or Twitter said, my signal service says I'm going short on natural gas, and that changes your perspective, it's not going to work out well. Either you follow your trading plan and you follow your strategy, or you follow someone else's. You can't do two. You can do two if you've got two different accounts. You can do two if you can put multiple trades on, but you'd need to know which trade on the same chart was for what strategy. Oh dear me, the monkeys in my head won't let me sleep. Anyway, where were we? Strategy, yes. So you need to stick to your strategy, and you need to do it consistently. I know I banged on about this last night. I know. I won't moan on about it too much more. Only another 30 or 40 times today. But if you don't do something consistently, something that's profitable, if you change it, if you don't do it the same way each time, you might lose money, you might miss the opportunity to make the bigger move. So for me, I do the same thing each and every time. It's slightly different for oil than it is gas. It's slightly different for forex than it is gold. It's slightly different for commodities than it is shares. But it's roughly the same, the principles are the same. There's just little nuances, little quirky bits that change around. Oh dear me, that monkey's back again. So, excuse me. So still in this very small, yes I know, thank you to the chap on Twitch yesterday who was quite vocal in telling me this is a nothing trade. Yes, I know. So 25 pence per point, very small. On the natural gas, we are 34 points up from initial entry, which is only £8.50, but we don't care about the money side of it. There's no entry signal and there's no exit signal in sight as yet. There could well be, by 11, 12 o'clock there could be. There's nothing happening on Brent crude, and at the minute my affair with the DAX, she's my bit on the side. Oh, God, stop hitting those drums. It's bit on the side. The DAX, that is giving me mixed signals, as most women do. Not just to me, they give it to everyone. So if this big rejection wick had touched up here, that would have been a double top entry. So what we would like is for this to happen, for that wick to come up and touch on here before 11, and this is a giver, this is a freebie. You then don't enter. This is the first touch, so you didn't know this was a high. But if this happens again, you don't enter until a candle closes below and opens below the bottom of the candle that touched the high. So that wasn't an entry, because yes, it closed below, it opened below, but it didn't close below. Does that make sense? This is a freebie. This is an old double top entry strategy, very old. In fact, one of the first ones I used, very unsuccessfully, I might add, but that's because I was naive and I thought I knew better. So if this candle was at the double top high, the next candle, not the next candle, but the candle after that opens below and closes below it, so not this one, it would have to close below the body candle with no wick, you get on, you short that. If it happens, I'll show you what I mean, and we'll ride that pony together. Yeah, nothing's happening, all good. I'm going to turn that absolutely shocking music back up and apologise now. I'm really sorry. And I'm going to go and sort my my alarms out, and then I'll be back ever so shortly. Oh dear God, the monkeys won't stop hitting me. Oh.
Don't stop. 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 Stop.
Okay, I'm back, people. High level solids turned out to be a gas alarm, and my high level liquids turned out to be definitely an overflow issue. Let me just have a quick chat. Hey Exeter. Oh, that's not too far from me. Anyone else here? Well, I am. I don't think anyone else is chatting to you, but yeah, nothing is happening at the minute. There's been a big move down. Well, big, it's not big. There's been a candle formation down on the Brent crude. My strategy hasn't given me an in as yet. I'd need for it to close below and open below this hourly formation. And if I went down onto a lower time frame, you better see that it's breached through it, which is normally well, it can be a good indication that it wants to go through, but this massive wick with only 40 seconds left to go does give us some indication that there is buying pressure at that point. And that's not someone sat at a screen like me clicking buy. It's somewhere along here. Once price had breached this area, there were some buying orders, some orders triggered, and that's why it's going back up again. On the lower time frame, the 5 minute, there has been a signal generated, but I don't trade from the 5 minute, I trade off the 15. Pardon me. Oh, more gas alarm. Or the hourly. Over on my other account, it's 4 hourly, daily, and longer. So no signal at the minute. Certainly not on oil. I mean, we were close to a signal, but no signal as yet. We'll just have to wait for one to be generated if we're going to be trading oil. DAX. This lovely rejection candle does give us some indication that it might be going south. We'll see. We'll see. In fact, I need to change a few things whilst I can see that I've got that up. Let me just, if you haven't already seen the disclaimer, let me just pop the disclaimer on for a second or two. Have a listen to this. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? I don't know if anyone else could hear that or not, but that elevator music, like this one. Oh, annoying. But you know, annoying. So back to the charts. Excuse me. I might have to open up a tinny in a minute and get my sugar levels back up for the morning. Still in on the DAX. It's a slow grind. It's slowly coming down. Means nothing. I'll have an exit signal. I'm guessing around about 11:30 mark. There's still no double top on the DAX. There's no breakout below on the DAX either. So that's nothing to trade with. And Brent crude is well, on the 15 minute, it is giving us indication it wants to go south. It's just a shame it didn't give me an entry signal, but hey ho, never mind. No longer matters. Where's that going to open? That's green. Oh, good. Let me open that. So this stream on YouTube and on Twitch is all about growing a small account. I'm gonna grey. Oh no, I can't do that, can I? This small account here. It's a very small account, but you're not really to focus on the money side of life. When you focus on the money side of life, you tend to be drawn to the figures that you can see. For instance, if you had £500 in an account, which is doable, the broker that I use, you can open an account with even less than that, I think, and you can put £500 in, which for some people is a lot of money, in which case trading is not for you. Brutally honest, if you can't afford to lose £500, just give it away and still be able to pay the bills, feed yourself, insure and tax the car and all that good stuff, then trading is not for you. But if you do throw a very small amount of money into an account and you follow a strategy that's proven to be profitable and all that good jazz, 9.8% of your £500 would be what? Anyone got any maths geniuses out there? I'm not a maths genius. I need a clacker-latter. Oh, what did I do that for? 500 plus 9.8% is 49 quid. Now, that doesn't seem a lot of money. It doesn't seem a lot of money. But 9.8% on £500 is 49 quid. If you had a £5,000 account plus 9.8%, that's £490. And this is in, although this is day 4, this is in 3 days of trading. This was Friday, Monday, and also Monday, I believe, and then Tuesday for these two, which were still in. Well, that one was Monday as well. So Tuesday, nothing really on Tuesday, just the 2 Brents, and then today. So there's no trading on Saturday and Sunday. So Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, 3 days. Today being the 4th day. If you had a £5,000 account, 9.8%, £490. Let's say that you were 100% happy that your strategy that you had, whichever strategy that is, was profitable. Watching because I couldn't sleep last night, I had this mad cough, so I was watching someone on YouTube. I don't think I haven't spoken to him, I don't know him, I've just watched his channel, a couple of videos, and so I'm not sure whether he'll be happy for me to mention his name, or his channel. He keeps on saying an edge, you need an edge. Yes, you might need an edge. That edge is your strategy. Your strategy will give you a profitable strategy will give you that edge, whatever that edge is. But if you have a profitable strategy that you implement consistently over time, and you're 100% convinced that this is the way to go, and you put £25,000 into an account, and you add, or you've just added 9.8%, that's £2,450 in 3 days. Now, the month might not end up like that. You might end up down slightly. You might end up more. You might do this every Friday for the remainder of your trading life. Great, awesome, Chasm sticks now. Get it done. So the percentage is the one that we care about, because it doesn't really matter what's in the account. It makes no difference what's in the account. We don't talk about money. We don't say in I've made 30 grand this year, or I've made 40 odd thousands in this year, not including excuse me, not including what they're called, not including shares. Excuse me whilst I open up a fizzy tin. Love it. Definitely not good for you, but there's no sugar in it. Anyway, what was I saying before I got a sugar high, or not sugar high? What was I saying? Can't remember. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Can't remember. That's thrown me off. So, get yourself a strategy if you haven't already got one. I can help you out with that. I'm not selling anything at all. The whole point of me opening up or getting a Mad Trading Facebook account going over the past few days was I'm annoyed at some of the absolute let's call it duckspeak, absolute duckspeak, because you can't swear on YouTube. Twitch you can. Absolute duckspeak that's online these days, and you're paying £25 odd, I think is the average, for a signal service that sends out a text or a WhatsApp message to say go long, go short on XYZ, and by the time you've actually done it, by the time, even if you're sat in front of your broker, by the time you found that, gone into it, added the information, hit submit, you're probably late to the party, and if at all, if it wins, which I'm hearing, certain stories that it doesn't win, but if it does win, then you're only winning maybe 30 or 50% of your risk. So if you risked 50 quid on that one signal that came through, you'll only get back 20 or 30% of that. So let's make it easy for my head that doesn't do maths. £100 risk, you're only making £20 to £30 back, which isn't right, because if that's what happens every time, you're going to lose. You're going to lose £100. Even if you lose £100 3 times, that's £300 loss, and 7 times you make 20 quid. That's only 140 gain. Overall, over those 7 trades, you've made £40. And the reality of it is, you will lose more times than you win with a signal service. 1, you won't take every signal. 2, the signals will come to you sporadically. 3, you're not ready to go. You don't know what the signal means. You're working out, or you're blindly following someone else's analysis, and you shouldn't do that. You should be shown how to trade. You should be shown, I imagine, from a reputable educator, how to work it out for yourself and not have to rely on anyone else's chat. So this small account is doing quite well, 9.8% on a. It is a thou. I've blocked it out so that people don't focus in on what the money is. Let me. No, Phil. Let me look. It's only a thou. We've only made £98.55, but it's 9.8%. 9.8%. This risk reward ratio is something that, if you don't know about risk reward ratio, then maybe do a bit of research on Google. Other search engines are available, I am sure. But do a bit of research about risk rewards. Maybe I'll go into it on another video or two. But for me, and this is a personal preference, whilst I was building up my account, it wasn't this small, but it was still a small account relative to now. It's it's a good idea that if you're not looking at the money side of life, which you shouldn't, you need to focus on other things. You need to have lots of other numbers in front of your face to make your head feel happier. So for me, building a small account, more or greater than 5 are on the ratio. So if there was 5 or greater in this box, I would feel happier about it. And you get the risk reward ratio from this box here. So if I risked 90 and I got 90 back, that would be 1. If I risked 90 and lost 90, that would be -1. And you add it all together, and this gives you a risk reward ratio. So out of those two losses there, if you add all of those together, it gives me 0.6 hour return. 0.66 risk reward ratio, which is pants. It is pants. But I had a 1.6 risk reward ratio, I believe. Let me get rid of boing. Yeah, 1.46 risk reward ratio before those two losses. And that was still bad, it's not the be all and end all, but it helps your head see that you are going in the right direction. If it ever falls below 5, and this would be a monthly spreadsheet to update, I'm just going to continue on for now. I have a day job. I have a normal. It's not a normal job. I've got a job. A normal job. I've got a job, so I can't be here all the time. So I'm not going to do it monthly or weekly. I'm just going to do it every time I can trade. When I trade, I'll add the trades into this small account on the £1,000 account that I've got going. But for now, I'm going to throw black on it. And we'll continue to do what we normally do, which is follow the trade plan to the T. Whilst, and I'm sure other people do this as well, I take my phone in with me to the throne room whilst I'm checking on the high-level solids. And on my phone, I've got one of those phones that spies on people, so the Americans say. I'm not bothered, so don't spy on me. There's nothing, I've not anything dangerous going on. I'm just getting naked. Hold on. Oh! Anyone read that book, The Naked Trader? He wasn't naked at all. I was expecting lots of pictures, but there wasn't any. The book was slightly disappointing from my perspective. I was expecting, a weird cult thing where you had to be naked and do things to yourself whilst trading, but it wasn't like that. Turns out that's not what he meant. What were we saying? Yeah, so we'll just keep an eye on this natural gas. That probably isn't going to give me a signal now for a couple of hours now. The oil is pushing down. It's showing that it wants to go lower. As I said, I don't predict. I couldn't possibly begin to think that I know where this market's going to go. I have absolutely no idea. If there's no signal, I don't get in at all. The hourly has given me a signal, and I set that signal yesterday and again last night, but it didn't take me in, and my strategy tells me if I'm not in a trade before 12, I cancel any orders that are there, and I start again in the afternoon, and I look for another entry signal. And the reason behind that is if price is slowly grinding up towards an entry, let's say, and 12 o'clock comes and you're not in, and you think, nah, I'm just going to leave it, and over lunch, because in London traders they actually do go away for lunch. They don't sit at their desks like you and I. They'll go away for lunch, and small retailers or small independent firms will not, and they will continue to trade through lunch, and they'll take profit, set a target, take profit. So price might eventually creep all the way up to your entry point, take you in through the spread. So if the spread is, I don't know, 3 on oil, and it price is 3 below your entry, you'll get taken in because of the spread. That's what I mean. So you're in a trade. Come 1:30, traders come back and think, well, you know, America's coming online soon. When they open, excuse me. And then the Asian market's going to be all volatile and weird. We'll just sell our positions, for instance. And as they sell their positions, you get taken out on your stops. Everyone else gets taken out on stops. America turns up and think, wow, this is shooting down. You know, we need to make sure that the dollar is strong, the pound is weak, or whatever they're thinking of that week, whatever they want to do. And they will either continue that move or bounce it around. And by that I mean major institutions, players, funds, from a very early time on, early on in their trading day, first thing in the morning, will either change the direction of that trade immediately or push it up or down further. There's no honor amongst thieves, as the saying goes. So traders, they don't, although yes, there's been reports in the media of traders colluding and pushing price here, there and everywhere. Yes, but the majority of institutions and big whales and players that can actually move the market, they don't talk to each other. Not that I'm aware of. So there's no collusion. There's no honesty between them, and there's no collusion within them. So they won't say, oh, actually, you know, we can't do that because all of these other traders are going to lose a lot of money. That's how you make money. Said yesterday, it's not a zero-sum game. You'll read books that say Forex is a zero-sum game. It's not. Trading cannot be a zero-sum game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google the shizzle out of that as well. If we breach this 5850 on oil, we might look for a wick down towards S1 daily. Let me just stick a fib on here. So from there to there, 50% has been breached, 61.8 has been breached. This is between this wick and that wick. We take that away and we go body to body. Which one was lower? They were both the same. So body to body, because they're the same. It's nearly 100% retracement back to this this body here. So if we breach this 5850, I'm going to go out on a limb and say we will see 5832. And possibly a bounce back up, but that's when we start to faff, because it would need to break back above the 5850 or break below the 5832 to then reach S1 daily or 5800. Round numbers, 5800 are special numbers for traders, certainly institutions. They like to keep it simple. And they like to hit the round numbers. So, for now, I cannot see, let me get rid of that, boom, I cannot see a trading opportunity on oil. If you want a better outlook, go to the bigger time frame, go to the time frame that's I'm going to show you more data. It's data, not data, data. Poshos. I've got someone at my work who who says data, and it annoys me. Yeah, go to a higher time frame and you'll be able to see a better outlook. I was short my my other major account was short oil from around about these numbers here, end of April. Not because of this weekly resistance that wasn't there at the time, because of other factors that had happened. Rode it all the way down, took some profits when there was a break above here, but moved my stop to around about here, I think it was, and then continued on, and I got myself out around about here. Didn't see this coming, this big gap up, so made substantial. It's not a massive move. Where was it? It was around. Let's go for here. Not a massive amount. So 1,014 points. Over a few months. Even if it's £1 a point, that's 1,000 odd quid or more, £1,400 on £1 a point. But that's not the point. On £1 per point, it's not a point. It's all about the process. You do the same thing on everything every time. Consistency is key. Badoofa. So I think that we might be looking for, certainly on here, a short bounce and then a move higher. Is my analysis, but I don't try and predict. We have had a quick touch off the 5850. It does look as though the green bar, or this hourly candle, is moving back up again. Similarly for the 15, we should be getting to newer highs by now. For the DAX, for the natural gas, we're still very small accounts. Yes, I know, and I see that I've had a couple of messages through on Facebook, which is strange because there's only one person watching on YouTube, and this isn't on Twitch just yet. And trolls will get you everywhere, won't they? Trolls will troll. No, you cannot join. Go away. But yeah, here on the DAX, it's not that it doesn't want to do something; it does. But the DAX is one of those indices that gets you into a trade and makes you wait for that profit. So this could quite easily breach to 2460, quite easily. Excuse me. Similarly, it could fall right out of its own ring piece all the way down to 2300. So that could be a 152 point move, or it could be a 30 point move and stay just there for the rest of the day. Makes, the DAX will do whatever it's going to do. I love the DAX. I truly do. Not because I have an affiliation with the DAX. That's all right. I love natural gas, and I really do. And not because I have an affiliation with gas, but because gas is one of those commodities where people think it correlates to the actual price of, and it doesn't. The price of a therm, the unit of measure, or what Britain uses to measure 1 unit of gas, therm. Let me Google that one. What is a therm? It's a symbol, a unit of heat of energy equal to 100,000 British thermal units, BTU. Approximately the energy equivalent of burning 100 cubic feet of natural gas. So people think that this is equivalent to a therm, 100,000 British thermal units. No, that's not right. A therm is not worth £2,452. This is a derivative of the of a couple of things. If you'd have to go into your broker and find out what their price is, what their mark or how they made the natural gas daily funded bet or futures market or whatever it is. This is not how much something costs. Oil, on the other hand, slightly different. $58 a barrel is what is used for oil. That's not actually how much it costs, by the way. But if you produce oil, refine it, package it and sell it for less than $58 a barrel, then you're making money. The natural gas therm, if you get a therm of gas, clean it, pressurize it, stick in a bottle, it just does the way that extraction works. So this isn't directly correlated to the actual gas that comes. Not entirely sure whether you guys can spread bet from the American perspective. I think this tax-free at the minute way of market trading is only really available to those of us in Britain and or Europe, however long Europe will last for. So enough wafflating from me. No one else seems to be jumping on and asking any mad weird questions. I'm probably going to leave the stream going till 9:30 and then jump over to Twitch. Pop any questions in the chat if anyone is around and watching. If not, if you're going to shoot off in a second or at 9:30 you're not going to join me on Twitch, have a look at the Facebook page. Just go onto Facebook and search for Mad Trading and you'll get to the Mad Trading Facebook site. Leave a comment, watch the video. There's lots of links there for other bits and bobs. Send me a message, and as long as you're not trolling or shouting obscenities and swearing at me and stuff, then I'll allow it, and then I'll also reply to you probably. But between now and then, I'm just going to turn this god awful music back up again. Honestly, I'll find some different music. I don't know why I can't just bung some Black Sabbath on. I'm sure that would infringe copyright, but it's weird that you can't just play your own music in the background, from Google or something. If I own that music and it's on a CD, or I've downloaded it onto, I've got it on my Google account, why can't I just play it? But anyway, that's not for me to argue. Pardon you. I'm going to turn this music back up again and shut up, and I'll see you just before I close the stream at 9:30. Stay mad, people. Oh, I wish I'd just gone long on the break. No, it's a joke. I'm only joking. You need to have a reason for entry and a reason for exit and where your stop goes. So for me, this still isn't a valid break. This could be a fake out. This could be one of those times when the marketeers are trying to push price up to get people to go long on the breakout of this. But then just immediately fall over. It might not be, could be going to the moon, could be going up to the monthly highs, no idea. But there's got to be a reason. That's either a retest or, as it says here, close above, open above. So if the next candle opens and stays above that this 2460 line on natural gas, I'll be adding to position, or I'll be putting an order on anyway to go long, baby. DAX, beautiful DAX. It's not doing a great deal. I'm guessing this is gonna push up now past 12,684. Whenever that happens. And it'll probably just be one of those Wednesdays where it just trickles along, doesn't do a huge amount. And then similarly on Brent's, not a huge amount happening there either. It's not broken below, and it's not giving me a signal to go long. If I look on the 5 minute for the natural glass, what would that be? That would be 2. Oh, excuse you. Yeah, so let me, before I close the stream on Naturella Glass, okay, so let's look at a possible 2-4 entry. No, we don't want that. We want that to be around about there. No, pretty tight. So yeah, let's leave it at about there. None of them. Yeah, I'm probably not going to. Pants, completely forgot. Because you have margin, you can't just. Now would be a perfect time to go long if anyone's thinking about it. But because you have margin, the amount of margin required, it goes on your pound per point, but it also goes on the percentage of the market itself. So I'm just looking at the key information. It's around about no. Come on, open up. It's around about monkey. Around about 1.5 to 2% of the actual instrument that you're looking at. So you need margin, and then on top of that you need the money that you're putting on. So if I'm looking for a breakout, now above the high of this candle, which you'd have to wait for this candle to close before you put that on. I cannot afford it. I can afford it, but on the £1,000 account, on a small account, it takes your account balance down and takes my account balance down to less than 50%. And I'm one of those fickly weird lunatics who won't take my account balance, even with margin, down to 50% or less, because if the arse fell out of this now and it slipped, slippage is 50%, and it slipped or gapped down because of some god awful news, that could take most of, if not all of, the rest of the funds in my account, which are in this £1,000 account, which would then close all the rest of the trades automatically. So Ron and not Ron, if you are watching, how many people are watching now? There's probably just the one guy still, or girl. I don't discriminate. Yeah, just the one still. If that's you, Ron, or not Ron, now would be a good time to get in long again on Au Natural glass. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Never mind. Never mind. There are other avenues to go. Bum wipe. Yep. So the DAX, lovely DAX, not doing much, and Brent crude, not doing much. It's showing it wants to go south, but it said that here, and then it just trickled on up. And this was late in the day. This was at 8 o'clock overnight. This was around about the 10, 11 o'clock mark when it bounced all the way down here. Got me in, and then dragged it from underneath my feet and lost some cash. No biggie. So no idea what's going to happen with Brent crude oils, but hey, we'll see. I'm going to be closing the stream now. Thanks to anyone that's been watching live, or anyone that's been watching on a replay or video on demand, as the lingo sayo. And if you haven't seen it this side of 9 o'clock, here's a reminder. I'm going to keep that music. It's annoying, but it's annoying to the point where you think, what in God's name is going on? It's just annoying me. But at the same time, we're going to read the disclaimer. So that's enough of that. So that was a Mad Trading Trade Session production. I'm your host, Mad Trader. You've just absolutely got to. If you don't, you're mad. You've got to stay mad.